Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed an honor to receive this recognition to be the keynote speaker today. It is indeed a pleasure to see the size of this meet dedicated to the metal-faced insulated sandwich panels, something that tells me that this product has become a major part of our professional life today. When we consider a building element, we seek excellence in structural integrity, total protection against weather, with an efficient barrier value against heat ingress egress. The call for an integral system to deliver all these benefits together is in one go is indeed the major starting point for development of sandwich panels. Thank you. When we add fire safety, acoustical benefits, and clean and attractive building realizations, we are talking about the excellent metal-faced panel offerings which are available to you today. A product that challenges the status quo can only make an entry when the market says we want it. So it is with this wonderful concept. In the Indian context, I recall the late 60s when our army designed prefabricated tenements for the Tenga Valley in the northeast to increase civilian population there, to act as the first line of defense after the disastrous 1962 Chinese invasion. Thousands of square meters of plywood-faced panels were assembled on wooden frames with mineral fiber insulation to meet that demand. Our first metal-faced panel entry in the 90s was for the aquaculture sector, who serviced the Japanese export market. They needed food-safe process halls and frozen stores for their sushi quality shrimps. Since then, the industry has grown by leaps and bounds. Today, every food processing facility, frozen or normal cold store, or a distribution center features metal-faced panels without exception. The massive industrial plants like in the automotive, appliance, aerospace, pharma sectors, and now in data centers, depend on these panels for their speedy and clean realization. These projects have posed challenging user demands that have been met by our architects, engineers, designers, and installers, featuring the sandwich panels. The steel industry, on its part, developed coils with high yield strengths and excellent workability to suit cold working in our roll formers. Metallurgical protection of galvanizing and zinc-alume, galvalume has seen tremendous developments over the years to be able to retain the excellent protection sought by the final product without impairment during the cold forming process. It sure was a big amount of development work in that particular direction. Organic coatings were developed offering a bouquet of colors with excellent stability against every external exposure condition. Finishes meeting corporate color standards of different companies, coatings to meet the food safety and pharma norms, have all been made possible by the paint industry. Fasteners meeting strength requirements and having metallurgical compositions with compatibility to our metal facings have completed our ecosystem. At Lloyd Insulations, with 3 manufacturing centers, it has been fascinating to work on projects with our engineers to meet structural, wind load, and seismic stipulations. Spectacular elevations were sought by our clients and the architect community with color combinations of their choice, many times with horizontal, vertical, or other dispositions. Clients like Ferrero Rocher, IKEA, Helvet Pharma, Sahyadri Farms, Tetra Pak, Kia Motors, Kellogg, Procter & Gamble, McCain, Bosch, Frito-Lay come to my mind, where our engineers have been excited to face the challenges thrown at them. Every frozen and cold store project serviced has left its own place in my memory. These cover brief historical aspects of the saga of insulated sandwich panel industry. One can safely say that we have attained sufficient manufacturing and installation capability to meet the present needs of our user community in full measure. I wish to share my thoughts on what would be good for our future work. Quite a lot of course, is already ongoing. I see a lot of value in continuous testing programs to create and update a sound database in respect of strength, thermal insulation value, fire barrier capabilities, and acoustical performance of installed systems, not just the product. A complete installation has to be tested for all these performance requirements. Evaluation, accreditation, and certification by external agencies and standards bodies adds to positive differentiation of one's offerings. I feel that the industry must work towards creating a knowledge base that is made available to facility planners, architects, engineers, and others for evolution of sound preliminary designs to meet specific end-user requirements. I feel the need for a manual of standard detailing to cover specific areas like flashings, cappings, expansion joints, etc., so that the specifier understands the need for careful detailing in the final realization. Over the years, we have many installers who have gained experience to handle field work without creating a single weak spot. Each manufacturer must recognize such individuals and get them to share their inputs with the detailers and fellow field engineers. Close interaction of this sort has contributed to continuous evolution of a sound database in my company. While the present status of panel production in the country is indeed very rosy, we must remember that we live in a world that has seen many disruptive changes. Our industry faced the Montreal Protocol timelines. Probably none of you would remember that we had a major challenge when Montreal Protocol was signed to give us a timeline for the regulations on ozone-depleting substances. Our industry faced the Montreal Protocol timelines so spectacularly. With tireless efforts of my colleague, Vineet Munjal, who I always consider one of the best polyurethane chemists in this country, and of course, chemists in the various suppliers' labs. Somebody I'll never forget the kind of scientists that I interacted with in Bayer, BASF, and others, who really gave us the systems that we needed. New norms will be set and new regulations may evolve, particularly in the area of sustainability, biodegradability, and environmental issues. I can assure you, I've seen through a lot of major disruptions in this field. Close interaction is necessary with agencies involved, both your in-house laboratories as well as the external supply chain partners, to fall in step with any such new norm that may become mandatory. These kinds of regulations come all on a sudden, so I don't think we should be vulnerable to facing uncertainty in these directions. To be able to service the export market and to be future ready, we may need to demonstrate efficient and circular use of resources with locally used materials, with possibilities of recycling. In many cases, actually, disposal of materials becomes a major subject, which attracts very little attention from all of us. Disposal is a major activity, which I would like you people to think about. It would be good to have a clear roadmap in these directions. Somehow, at 84 years, I feel like a grand old man in this particular industry. But I wish I was 20 years younger, because the exciting time that we see today in the Indian market, as well as all over, the challenge that we face, it would be fantastic to be a part of it. I wish you all a very bright future in this exciting time. I would like to really once again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity and share my thoughts today. I'm sure the deliberations which I see on your program would add to the cumulative knowledge of all of you, and I'm sure you'll all contribute to improvement in the user industry as we go along. Thank you for your patience.